Hi there, Nomad here, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I know it's been a hot minute since I kept playing, but we are now in the final day of the trial. Shit is going to go down. Very excited about it. I don't remember how any voices go. I'll do my best. This is it. Judgment Day. Today things are going to get settled at last. A lot of things. What's the big idea? Sorry, Nick. I only touched your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off from my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. Anyhow, today's the last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick! Yeah, thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum, as always. I hope Von Karma doesn't push him too hard. Really? What are you doing? Sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back. Maya, maybe you should go outside and discharge. Right. Good idea. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. Guessing that's Gumshoe. What's gotten into that girl? Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Miss Edgeworth. Good morning. How did it go, Detective? Have no fear. As promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Took all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock I got on the way in, I feel pretty good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name. But that has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? He does remember, and I'm going to prove it. Shit is about to go down. Von Karma is going to get 50 million accents. Because that's how this shit works. Court is now in session for the trial of Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready. Holy shit, he talked. Right. Very well. We have reached the final day of our proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submit decisive evidence. Understood. Come on. Don't be awed into silence by every little thing he says. Very well, Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. Very well. Please bring the witness into the courtroom. This is it. This motherfucker right here. Ladies and gentlemen of the court. I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop on the lake from where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost his memory of his name and identity. Witness, why did you run away yesterday? The witness was not running away, as he will not testify. I see. Very well. Please begin your testimony. I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I'd need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. So my testimony yesterday stands as is. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, shall we? He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi, and I'm going to prove it. Can't they just do, like, fingerprints? He was a member of the court. He should have fingerprint records. Alright, let's see. Food? Well, Polly's a bit of a gourmand, you see. She only eats these high-quality bird pellets from France. They only have them in the big pet shop downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker shack? Well... I kinda got lost, you see? The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack. Yeah, right. Nice try. No one's going to believe that. I see. So he was lost. Ugh, please, Your Honor, come to your senses. You've lost much of your memory, is that correct? Yep. Seems like it. Then how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with this incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory, You know exactly who you are. The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is. If you claim he's lying, then show the court proof. How am I supposed to prove what's going on in that old codger's head? That's impossible. I'm glad you've come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well. Witness, please continue. Okay. Can I present Polly? Let's see. No, alright. Polly would probably be the best option, right? Nope, music didn't stop. Son of a bitch. Damn it! Your Honor, this... blah, blah. That didn't go so well. I need one of those motive things. Press him, I guess? How can you say you had no motive? You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took your revenge on them, right? Please do not make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. He's turning French. This witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. It cannot hold grudge. It's impossible. I have to prove he's lying about his memory. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing over and over again. Might I say something, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? You've been saying the same thing now, over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory into question, but does this really have anything to do with the current case? Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies. I would have said false, but, you know. Mr. Wright, there is a serious problem with your claim. Or are you saying you know who this witness is? Of course, Your Honor. Now this is interesting. I would like to know myself. Who is he? As if you don't know. Don't play dumb. Mr. Wright, please tell us the witness's name. His name is Yanni Yogi, a former court bailiff. Yogi? That name seems familiar. Oh! Yanni Yogi, from the DL6 incident. It figures the judge would have heard of it. It was such a famous case. But what does this mean? Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive. Don't you waggle your finger at me. Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This man, this witness, is Yanni Yogi. Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? The bird. The bird. This is a court of law, you may recall. You need proof. And allow me to repeat once more that the witness has lost his memory. This is it. I have to do this now. If I can't prove he's Yogi right here, right now, I've got nowhere else to go. Nick! How are you going to prove it? How can you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? It's okay. It's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please take this man's fingerprints. Yes! Then we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago. I see. That makes sense. Don't you tisk me. I'm so very sorry, Mr. Wright. Why? The witness has no fingerprints. What? What? No fingerprints? Did he burn them off? That explains why there were no fingerprints on the gun. Aside from his. Is even where I work, burn my fingers working with the stuff. Yeah, the fingerprints grow back usually. You have to burn your fingers pretty fucking hard. Yogi, you sneak. You burned your fingerprints off to hide your past. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we'll not be able to prove his identity. No. Well, what do you do, Mr. Wright? It seems that the case has been decided, no? No! I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. But no, I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There's no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one. Wait. What are we gonna do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do? Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine his parrot for a little comic relief, eh? Yes. Wait a second. Cross-examine his parrot? See, if I'd proposed it, it would have been ridiculous, but since Von Karma proposed it... What is it, Nick? No. You're not going to... Your Honor. The defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Take Mr. Von Karma up on my proposal. Hi. We are a very serious attorney game here. Very serious. Yep. I would like to cross-examine the witness's parrot. Very serious, law-based game. Order, order. I'll stop giggling eventually, I swear. Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object. You're the one who suggested it. Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Mr. Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. Well, if you're so desperate, then please, be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Well, still want to go through with your little game? Yeah. Bet your ass. Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence, except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least, I think so. Just ask the parrot if I forgot anything. Bailiff, bring the parrot. Was the parrot here the whole time? Oh, yes. I love it. That's, quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Witness is ignoring me. It must hurt to be ignored by a bird. Very well, witness. Who is your owner? Please testify for us. It's just gonna be dots. Hello. Hello. Yeah, that sounds about right. Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well, begin your cross-examination. Right. What are you gonna do, Nick? I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Let's save here. That seems like a good idea. Fucking cross-examining a parrot. You have to call Polly by her name. That's fucking, I guess. Dude! I want you to testify. Maya, you talk to her. Right, what do I say? As I recall 2 days ago. Polly! Have we forgotten something? Don't forget DL6! If I can get Polly to say that here, that will prove the caretaker had something to do with DL6. Polly, have we forgotten something? What? That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot something. We forgot. Uh-oh. It's not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Something the matter, Mr. Wright. Wait. Don't tell me Bunkara expected this. He couldn't have retrained the Parrot, could he? Did he train her to not respond if we asked if we'd forgotten something? I guess we should try and get some information out of her. Okay. Try a different question? Yeah. What should I say? Polly, what's your name? Polly. Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot's name is Polly. No, it doesn't. Very well, witness, continue your testimony. Witness, you must speak. You must speak to me. Frankly, I can't believe you're speaking to that parrot. Well, I guess we should try to get some information out of her. Yes, I know. Combination of the safe? Maybe I'll get her to say the number of that safe. Huh? The safe? Why? Well, let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly! What's the number to the safe in this shack? 1228! 1228! My, what a reckless parrot. Oh, Mr. Wright. You're not claiming this number has some... Actually, it does. Actually, it does. That's why I had her say it. Ha! Ridiculous. How can the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker? Back this way. Does it have the date in it? Yes, 1228. Okay. Excellent. Take that! Bitch! The DL6 case file? What is this obsession you have with that case? Mr. Wright. Where in this file? Blah, blah, blah. Case summary. It's on the case summary page. The case summary? Specifically, the date on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident, December 28. Why, that's today's date! 15 years ago! And the number on the safe is 1228. Ah! He used the date of the DL6 incident as the number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Bah! This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card number to 0001 because I'm number 1. This has nothing to do with the date. Indeed. Alone, it's a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence. Where are we gonna find that? Nick, we're getting closer.
One more. If we can just get one more piece of evidence.
Right, but what? Very well, witness. You may continue. Okay, I feel like I've got to present something to her. But none of this... Fuck, if she isn't... Did she say something when she saw my attorney badge? I don't remember. I saved, it's okay. No, god damn it. I'll just suck it up. Can I press her there again? Maybe I'll get different options? Witness, you can't just say hello. I've already done this. I've already done this. Don't forget DL6. Yes, I know. I've gone through this already. What do I even... Is Polly relevant? Gregory Edgeworth, Miles Edgeworth, Yanni Yogi. His fiancée Polly Jenkins! There it is. Okay. Okay, the name is relevant. And it's... Okay. I got there in the end. Okay, alright. It does. Yes, it does. Ha! Fascinating. You claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity. Then show us this proof.
Nick! Don't you think you're taking the bluffing a little too far?
Listen. We're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yanni Yogi, and what fucking... What's the... It's... Suspect data, okay. Your Honor, proof that the reveals... The parrot's name reveals that the identity is... A DL6 case file. That's quite a large file you have there. 3 fucking pages is a large file. Which page is this proof on, then? Show us, or stop wasting our time. Very well, Mr. Wright, please show us the page. Where in this file is the information connected to the parrot's name? It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide, see? Indeed. It does say that, yes. What was his fiance's name? Polly Jenkins. Polly. Exactly, Your Honor. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible. Bah! A mere coincidence, that is all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. You don't have a granddaughter. You have a daughter and a Miles. Oh, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does that make my granddaughter... You my granddaughter's fiancé? You're just making shit up. She's only 7 years old. That's enough. Oops. I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence, that's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the bookshop. Immediately. Witness. Tell us your name. Wait. This witness, he doesn't remember. No, it's okay. Ooh, he's standing up straight. I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done.
Nick, he looks totally different.
This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting for 15 years. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi. So it was you who killed Richard Hammond, and tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death. Yes, it was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond, he said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent. Get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really, but he didn't believe me. We won the trial, but I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancé, my social standing. And this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance. After 15 years, this was it. Finally, a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment. Revenge against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Miles was just a kid. Mr. Von Karma, where is Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant Miles Edgeworth is innocent, in this case at least. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand?
Now we're gonna have another trial. About the DL6 incident.
A few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I'd like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Because he's gonna try and get Miles guilty of another murder. Because he's a dick. What kind of asshole? Oh. I didn't think there would be confetti. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait for it. Wait for it. Did someone just say objection? It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, but that means... No... Edgeworth. Your Honor. I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what?
Nick? Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell them he was the murderer in the DL6 case. He's going to tell them he killed his own dad.
Uh-oh. What do I do? The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Jesus Christ. Objection! You get an objection! You get an objection! You get an objection! Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. Fuck me. Try me to drink, Edgy. For 15 years. I have had a reoccurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare, that's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer. The criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me. Your Honor, I confess to my guilt. I am guilty for the DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me. Bullshit. This is some, like, high-level mindfuckery. Because I know who did it. And it's just... This is certainly unexpected. The defendant declared innocent is confessing to a different crime. A crime for which the statute of limitations run out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah. It is obvious. We hold a trial. Right here. Right now. We tried this man for his crime of 15 years ago. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. I'm sorry, Wright. I've just wasted all of your effort. Mr. Edgeworth, I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you... kill your dad? I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. It was an okay, even if you did kill your dad, which you didn't, it was an accident and you were a child. This is crazy! Just crazy!
Nick? What are you doing?
Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready.
Your case for what?
Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm gonna prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it, in court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream, it's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. Oh, my heart. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge, Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let us begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incidents runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I'd like to run this one by the book. I see. Does the defense have any objections? Nope. Let's fucking do this. No, Your Honor. Von Karma. You knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Very well. He was gonna get Miles framed for murder one way or another. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I'm a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth. 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That will be the key, but only if I can get it to work. Please, please. Alright. I think... I have a thought. Alright, hold on. Trapped in the elevator. One bullet found in the heart. The weapon was fired twice. Weapon was fired twice. And then... yeah, that doesn't line up. The bullet hole doesn't line up with where he was shot. So that's the second bullet hole. Okay. Alright. The day I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you just thought this memory was a dream. You were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah, the same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Well, that and it was very traumatic, and trauma has a tendency of suppressing memory. Mr. Wright, cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Let's do this! Have I gotten my points back since it's a new trial? I have not. Alright. Maybe I should press first. The gun fired once. Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. I can words. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. Okay. Alright. Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? Well, it's been useful every single time. I don't accept this evidence unless you can tell us what page it's on. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? Why is that hard to say? Look at the victim data in this file. It says quite plainly the murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot, yet the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Bitch. Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Yes, there was. Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, this incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. Don't you waggle at me. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. No, just look at the fucking... You do have a point, Mr. Wright. The murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot fired had something to do with this case? Yes! Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you proof. Wait, hold on. Let's back this up a little. Okay. What? Impossible. Now, Mr. Von Karma, save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have evidence that the second firing of the pistol is related to this incident? Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Okay. This is a photograph of the scene of the this is a photograph of the scene of the crime 15 years ago. I can see that the victim is lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. The photo proves it. So let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Your Honor, please. Please get a clue. Okay. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course. Of course you would object. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. Alright, fine. Just for you, Von Karma. No clue. No clues found on the scene. What's your fucking point? Like, that's page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. The pistol had indeed been fired 2 times. Then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene of the crime. Not if it was taken away by the person who fired the weapon. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. Liar. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter, the whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made the bullet hole in the door. Really? Order! I will have order. Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma states, the second bullet was not fired something. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked the second bullet. So all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. How did this happen? I don't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? No. What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? I'm sorry, Maya. It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing.
No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent.
I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that the 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person, someone else who fired the killing shot. There is! But now... I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years.
Nick?
No! 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 Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. You smarmy asshole. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though that was not your intention. Yes, I did.
Oh no. He's accepted the guilt.
Very well. Statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendant today, right here. Right now. Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There's so many things I know I should be saying. But my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright? I mean, if I say nothing, then Edgeworth is gonna be declared guilty. And I can't have that. Your Honor. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object?
Nick?
I don't know. His case is perfect.
Oh no.
It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say?
Nothing.
The second bullet must exist. But where? Someone took it. It seems like waiting is not going to produce us answers from Mr. Wright. My dyslexia is kicking in, I'm so sorry. Wait, Your Honor. The second bullet, it exists. What? But we've just heard proof that it did not exist. I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just... someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer? There's blatant physical evidence that the second bullet existed. I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet. But why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. Was there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? The murderer didn't need it. He was shot! That's why he screamed. Why would the murderer have spent time looking for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah! The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. He had to take it. Had to take it. The murder... what does that mean?
You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But the murderer had to take that bullet.
Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean?
Well, for instance... For instance, what? Maybe the bullet hit the murderer? Yes. Say it with conviction.
The bullet hit the murderer?
I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there. You know? Shut up, he's right. Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened?
Let me get this straight. So at the time of the murder, the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime.
Yeah. I guess that's how it would work, yes.
But there's a problem with that. The other two people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yanni Yogi, were both unharmed.
So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. Hence the bullet hole through the fucking door. And since it went through a door, it was going slow enough that it would be lodged in the body. Or the murderer. Two men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, but the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside.
Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I can't deny the possibility of what you say.
What are you saying? Deny it! No one involved with the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something really crazy.
Crazy?
Yes, thank you. Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? He took a vacation.
Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record.
Wow.
It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see? Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and last vacation he's taken in many years of prosecuting.
What if Von Karma didn't take that vacation because of shock? But he took it because he was injured. Which would mean...
It could only mean one thing.
He was the murderer in the DL6 incident.
He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth.
It was Von Karma! Oh, man.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright. You seem dazed.
No, Your Honor.
Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect?
Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Yeah. Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. You getting nervous, Von Karma?
Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? hands are shaking. What? Von Karma. Von Karma. Don't you tisk at me. You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right here? Bah. You don't object? I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no? Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? You didn't. Bring the doctor who operated on me. Have him testify.
Nick! Let's find out who's... He doesn't have a doctor!
It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma, perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness.
Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out himself? That's insane.
No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. Depending on the situation, you can, but... Wait. What does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere, but where? It's in his fucking shoulder! Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Alright, Von Karma. I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery leaving an evidence trail. So then I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There is the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Bitch! Oh, yes! Is that even possible for all these years? Well, there's one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Refuse! You refuse? But refusing this means... you acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Order! 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 Your Honor, the defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge! I call for a suspension in this trial. This is an invasion of privacy. The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough. I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to the testing.
Nick, what does this mean?
I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. It reacted.
Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet.
Mr. Von Karma. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident.
What?
I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6.
Lies.
But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here. Not I. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Mr. Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course you can't. You don't have any of the evidence. That's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. I have one piece of evidence. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No, I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof. What? Who would have thought you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof. That's a bullet? Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all ballistic markings attached. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It is not accurate. In real life, it is not very accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets, then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets had been fired from the same gun. The very same pistol, in other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth. Mr. Von Karma, you will let us remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma. I'm not screaming that. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait. I know. Help! I can't breathe! Quiet. I said quiet. You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air! I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air!
Get away!
Get away from my father! It's that scream I've heard in the elevator. 15 years ago. Von Karma, it was you who screamed. Mr. Von Karma. Only you would dare defy me. So it was you. You and your father are my curse. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record. And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade. I'll bury you. I'll bury you with my bare hands.
Jesus.
15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it's not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. Edgeworth. It was a shock like none I had ever known. Me? Penalized? It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain, a horrible burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. He was fooled. It was a perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would have come to open that elevator? Judge! What are you doing? Do your job! Bring this end to this miserable charade. Now, end it! Very well. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later. Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, real confetti this time. That's good shit. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Nick, we did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick! Crushed! I gotta say, I'm impressed.
It was pretty close, though. I was sure we'd had it.
I know. I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But now it's all just a good memory.
So it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right.
Yeah?
I'm not sure how to say this.
I know. Try thank you.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Wright.
You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that.
Sorry, I'm not good at this sort of thing.
You got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there.
Amazing, pal! You pulled through just like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. But who cares?
See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you.
I see. I feel foolish.
Don't worry. Take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all! Lotta!
Y'all were great in there.
Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth, congrats!
Thank y'all very much.
I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in a cookie jar even if no one was there.
You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you?
Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, huh?
Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta?
Who, me? Aw, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick.
Really?
That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Huh?
It's over, Nick! My life is over! Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick. I'm not long for this world.
You don't look sick.
It's Kiance. She's going to live in Paris, Nick. Paris! She's leaving me behind. Should have seen that coming. Yo, Edgeworth, there you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy. Here, a little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual from you. Harry Butts. You come along tonight too, pal. My treat. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not like police talk for prison food, right? Right?
I think you'll be fine, Larry.
Right.
Yeah? What's up?
That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it.
Well, yeah, that's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes.
It's $38, right?
Huh? What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick! Wasn't that the exact amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school?
$38? No.
No!
Larry, it was you? What are you so surprised about, Wright?
Huh?
Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect.
What?
Think back to that day, 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history.
I never was good at history.
Edgeworth, you didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? Yeah, too well. Right, you may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know. Really, Wright. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out.
Well, it sure is an unexpected turn of events, huh?
Edgeworth.
You should have told me. Now, Nick, it was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'd say so, yes.
There you have it.
Where does that leave me?
I became a defense attorney because of what you two did.
Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist.
Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too.
Death! The death sentence for both of you. Man, if only I'd have known I'd become a persecutor. The same goes for me, only the other way around. For the longest time, I thought I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became a prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, right?
Hey y'all, line up, I'll take a photo. Hey, photo time, let's go!
And after that, dinner on me!
Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. Well, that's a little awkward. Am I gonna get to see the photo? I want to see the picture! 5 in the morning.
Whoa, I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts.
Huh?
It's still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. Do you sleep at the law offices? Why am I so broke?
What's this? A letter? Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium. In training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you, but I couldn't. I was useless. So I've decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick.
Goodbye? What time is it? The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station! This is a long episode. I guess I'm too late.
Hey! Nick!
Maya! So, you're leaving?
Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good, okay?
Wait,
What?
I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help.
Huh?
On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice.
You heard my sister?
Yes. Only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything.
Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, even Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick.
But you were the only one who stopped Von Karma, Maya.
Huh? I didn't do anything. All I did was wander around in a daze.
Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped.
Evidence? A bullet?
Von Karma was convinced he had taken all of the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me.
Nick.
Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you.
I'll be back soon.
Huh?
I'm going to complete my training and come back. Okay?
I'll be waiting.
Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless.
I don't know about that.
So, this is it.
See you soon, Maya. Happy endings all around.
Aww. Thanks, Nick.
And so my story ends. Time to turn a new page. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yes, Your Honor. Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. There we go. Oh, the picture! And Maya's there, or Mia's there. Is Gumshoe the one who makes all the confetti at the end of the trials? That was nice. Wait, what? Ooh, yes. Excellent. Alright. So that was the end of Ace Attorney. I think the next one is Trials and Tribulations. I think. So Rise from the Ashes. Alright, cool. Well, we'll pick that one up next time. But that's all for today. This was quite a long episode, so thank you all for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. This is Nomad, signing off.